Hi, friends. In this episode, we are going to talk about some of the legislation, the proposed bills by congressional leaders, and also want to share some good news about one of our clients, about someone who filed to remove conditions. Friends, if you're wondering why I think a bill would be passed sooner than later, it's because number one, the impeachment trial of former President Trump is finally over. Now, yes, I know some of you are disappointed that there was 3 votes short of 60 because you need for someone to be convicted of impeachment or just convicted in general. It requires 60 votes, and it was a vote for 57 to 43. Now, the second thing and why I think there will be a bill for immigration sooner than later, or at least more discussion about it, is that the American Rescue Plan already passed the Senate. Now they're waiting for a vote on the House of Representatives. What I believe is going on, based on reports, is that Biden has been meeting with several local politicians, for example, on the governor level, governors and mayors. So that shows that there's more movement on the immigration front. We'll be sharing new updates with you as soon as we receive it. Without further ado, let's talk about the legislation. So we have a bill introduced by Senator Klobuchar, Amy Klobuchar, who actually ran for president on a Democratic side in the primary. And let me share my screen to show you what she proposed. Now, what she proposed has to do with, okay, there we are. So you can see it. This is a bill, Senate Bill number 260, a bill to provide immigration status for certain battered spouses and children. Now, if you are familiar with the I-360 form, you already know that this is for people who are a spouse of a U.S. citizen. This is actually, well, I want to show you here that this is co-sponsored by 3 other senators, Democratic senators, Chris Coons, Richard Blumenthal, and Mazie Hirono out of Hawaii. So it has support. That's a good thing. And so she has done this the last several years. But I believe this is very important because this is not discussed in the previous sessions or the previous comprehensive immigration forum. And so the reason this is important because, as I discussed before, the I-360 form that USCIS requires for this type of application, it's only based on U.S. citizens. Now, what Amy Klobuchar wants to do is to include people who are abused by, let's say, a spouse of a person who has temporary visa, for example, H-1B. Our law firm helps with a lot of people who have been abused by their spouse, and that spouse has an H-1B visa. And a lot of these people, we help pro bono for a nonprofit here in Houston and also in Dallas. The one in Houston is called DAYA, D-A-Y-A. And so a lot of our clients, their spouses have H-1B. And there's no remedy for them. The only other remedy is something called U visa, victim of a crime, the letter U. So I wanted to share that because it's still an important population group of people who need status and have not been included in the conversation. So that's one. Okay, so that's Senate Bill 260. There's another one called, let me show you here. Okay, there's another one called the House of Representatives House HR Bill number 536 to reform the process for enforcing immigration laws of the United States. Okay, so a lot of these introduced bills, they sound kind of generic, but I want to show you right here. Sorry, you might hear my 2-year-old right now. HR 536, sponsored by Representative Jesus Garcia out of a Democrat out of Illinois, has only been introduced on January 28th. And there's not much information. It got referred to the House Judiciary Committee. And now, to share more content of what it says, it's sponsored actually by several people. It includes several things. It's to require ICE agents and custom border protection agents to wear body cameras, and also, okay, so this bill also protects immigrants who go to sensitive locations, aka sanctuary city, because to prevent ICE agents from going into, for example, churches, courthouses, community centers, and houses of worship, religious places of, because this is a tactic that targets vulnerable immigrants. These places are supposed to be considered safe spaces. We've heard a lot of stories during the Trump administration that ICE agents would show up at the courthouse and arrest someone right after they're done with a criminal court hearing. And so how can someone, especially also if they're a victim of a crime and they have to go testify in court, and that has prevented people from testifying in the future. That's also prevented people from testifying in the past because they have a fear that ICE agents would be at the courthouse, for example. And so this is an important bill, a substantive bill to pass. And there's another measure that would protect and keep families together if they are separated. That there's a plan for immediate reunification of children who are separated from their parents. Again, this is also another bill in response to what President Trump did the past 4 years, separating more than 500 families. Now, specifically, there are a couple bills that were discussed before, such as the Secure Act, that technically has not been introduced formally into Congress, so we don't have any kind of information on that on the congress.gov website. And there is also another one that we spoke about a couple days ago, the DREAM Act. Now, there's more push for that recently, and will be more push this month for the DREAM Act, at least, because there's a case in Houston, the Southern District of Texas. There is a ruling that we're waiting for from this judge, Andrew Hannon, because Texas and amongst at least 7 other states did sue the administration to get rid of DACA, stating that it's unlawful and that when President Obama did create this program, it did not go through a comment period. Friends, we also have some good news to share with you. We had a client that was approved for a 751 removal conditions, and it was approved in 5 months. Can you believe that? If you are aware of this application, 751, lately, well, really the past 4 years at least, it takes over 18 months. So really excited for our client. Friends, if you're new to our channel, please subscribe down below. Hit the like button. That lets us know you really enjoy our content. And please share our video. We'll have more news for you about the PP10014 and the PP10052, the visa ban and the travel ban. So we will keep you updated as soon as we get information. Until next time, please continue wearing a mask. Bye-bye.